Hello everyone, I'm Neeta Shankar. I'm a wedding and lifestyle photographer from Bangalore. So today I'm doing a quick unboxing and first impressions video of the Nikon's latest DSLR D780. So D780 is the upgrade to D750 which came over 5.5 years ago. So this is a much awaited camera. So let's open the box and see what's inside. The camera looks great, has the typical form factor of a prosumer DSLR, feels very familiar in the hands, and it has the Nikon F mount. It takes the EL15B battery, which is the same as Nikon Z6 and Z7. So here I have the 24-120 f4 lens. What I want to talk about is I want to just compare the specifications of this camera versus what I already have, the Z6, and also talk about how it's an improvement over the D750. The D780 is a hybrid camera, that is, it is a DSLR, but it takes its features from the Z6 and Z7 cameras. So a lot of its features are borrowed from the Z system, and some of its features are also borrowed from the D850 and D5. So that way it's a really big improvement over the D750. So let's go over the features and figure out the similarities between D780 and Z6 and also how it fares over the D750. There are a few changes over the D750 in terms of the button placement. As far as I remember, D750's ISO button was somewhere down below, whereas now it has been shifted to here, which makes more sense because when you're changing the settings, it's easier to change the setting right here. So there is a dedicated AF on button in the back. Also, the live view button has been shifted on top over here, so it makes more sense when you're shooting. It's easier to switch to video or turn on the live view. So that way, in terms of the button placements, they've made a lot of improvements, and it actually feels a lot better now. Another major difference is that there is no pop-up flash anymore. Well, anyways, as a professional, you would not use a pop-up flash anyway, so they've removed it. Of course, some people do prefer to use it to trigger their optical slaves, and also to use as a fill flash, although I don't prefer to use it that way. So I don't miss the pop-up flash at all. In fact, I think by removing the pop-up flash, they're actually ensuring that the weather sealing is going to be perfect, because when there is a pop-up flash, there are chances that the moisture can get inside from there. The D780 also has a touchscreen, which makes it really easy to change settings, and this is something that was missing in the 750, so it's a big upgrade from that. It now comes with a USB-C port, so making your firmware upgrade and your data transfers much faster. It comes with dual SD card slot, UHS 2 SD card slot, which is really fast cards, so that's a really good thing, especially for wedding photographers or event photographers who are worried about losing their data if it's recorded onto a single card. If you are really concerned about data, then having 2 card slots makes it redundant, and it makes it actually a lot more safer. You can set your camera to write the raw files onto both cards, so that's a really good thing in this. That is one thing I miss in my Z6, because Z6 has a single card slot, but since Z6 takes an XQD card or a CF Express card, so these cards are a lot more stable and secure than SD cards, so that way I'm pretty okay with a single card slot as well. So let's look at some similarities between the D780 and the Z6. To begin with, they both share the same sensor, that is a 24.5 megapixel BIS CMOS sensor, which is the same as the one in Z6. It also has the same processor, which is the Xpeed 6 processor. So it is a really fast and energy efficient processor. So that's a really good thing about D780, that it has got these newer technological developments from the mirrorless series. It also has the same autofocus as the Z6 when it comes to live view. That is 273 phase detection autofocus points in live view, which will essentially make it exactly the same as Z6 when you're shooting in live view. In viewfinder, you have 51 autofocus points, and the autofocus algorithms are borrowed from the D5, so which is a big improvement over the D750. Also, it's noteworthy to mention that the autofocusing in live view covers almost 90% of the frame, which is the same as in Z6. So your autofocus points will move all the way from left to right and top to bottom, which makes it really easy to change focus point and focus in live view. Another improvement in autofocus is the availability of eye detection autofocus, which was introduced into Z6 and Z7 via a firmware upgrade. Now this is readily available in this, and you can use the eye detection autofocus, and it makes it really easy, especially while shooting videos and while shooting in live view. You can use this eye detection to easily focus on your subjects. The D780 can shoot continuous frames up to 7 frames per second in viewfinder, and if you're shooting in live view where it's using live view and the silent shutter, then you can shoot up to 12 frames per second. The native ISO sensitivity of the camera has been improved, and now it can go up to 51,200 ISO. It also comes with focus stacking, which is also a feature of the Z6, Z7, and also I think focus stacking is also available in D850. So this one also comes with focus stacking, and it helps when you're shooting landscapes and you want focus throughout, or even when you're shooting macro and you want to stack focus. It's a great feature to have. Most favorite feature of mine, I think, and it's a really helpful feature for all landscape photographers, is that the shutter speed range has been expanded in the lower range up to 15 minutes. You can set a shutter speed of 15 minutes right in the camera. So people who want to do night photography, astrophotography, or long exposures in landscape photography, for all of them, this feature will be really helpful. And on the higher end, the shutter speed can go up to 1/8000th of a second, which is again an improvement over the D750, which can go up to just 1/4000th of a second. So the D780 is a DSLR with a lot of its features borrowed from the mirrorless system. So it is technologically advanced because it takes all the latest features from the mirrorless cameras and maintaining the same form factor of a DSLR. So it is useful for those people who are comfortable with the DSLR system and don't want to immediately move to mirrorless for whatever reason, and for those who prefer the optical viewfinder rather than an electronic viewfinder. It is also helpful for those who prefer the longer battery life, especially photojournalists, wedding photographers, event photographers, sports photographers who don't want to keep changing batteries and miss moments in that time. So it is great for those people. D780 has the usual benefits of a DSLR system with all the technological advancements of a mirrorless camera. So it is great for people who have already invested a lot of money into f-mount lenses and who don't want to move into mirrorless and start investing in the Z-mount lenses. To summarize what we spoke until now, D780 is a really good camera with a lot of new features borrowed from the Z system, as well as the D850 and D5 higher end DSLR systems, so which makes it a really feature-packed camera. So whether you invest in Z series or you invest in the D780, you won't go wrong. So that's all I have for today. Hope you liked the first impressions video. I'll try and follow it up with another detailed review once I use this camera on field. I'm soon going to be taking it on field in one of my shoots. Do like, share and subscribe to this channel. Also click on the bell icon to get notifications of all future videos.